I am going to unmute some folks. So of our 5 outstanding students, looks like we have, is it Kanaya and Honesty? Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Is there anyone else on the line?
Congratulations, Kanaya and Honesty. This is wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you. My friend Gloria couldn't make it. She has family issues.
Yep. Will told me about that. So, all right. Yep, told me about that. So, we're gonna let me see. So here's Stephanie. Stephanie's coming in now. All right. All right, we're going to go ahead and kick this off because we are live on Facebook as well. So I want to welcome everyone to the discussion. First, I want to acknowledge my co-host, JeRod Lindsay. Hello, JeRod.
What's going on, Mark?
And we have a special guest. We have a number of special guests. First, we want to thank Council Member Jan-Michele Kearney from joining us this evening.
I'm so honored. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited.
Yes. Thank you. And I think Erica's coming in now. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself, Jan-Michele, that would be great.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I was born and raised in Cincinnati. I grew up in Avondale.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Rockdale Elementary, Walnut Hills High School, then went up east to college. I went to Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire, where it was like super cold.
Yeah.
And while I was up there, I took some time off and went to Talladega College in Alabama, which is my dad's alma mater, and it's an HBCU. Great experience there. Later, I got a master's at Harvard Graduate School of Education, and later went to Harvard Law School, and I was in President Obama's class. So You never know, you're sitting there with somebody, having dinner, just hanging out, and you look up one day and they're president of the United States. It's all pretty amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So when I came back to Cincinnati, I worked at a law firm, Taft, Stettinius & Hollister, in the litigation department, and then joined with friends, one of whom I later married, Eric Kearney, and we started a publishing company. We bought some publications, including the Cincinnati Herald, which is a newspaper, African-American paper that had been around since 1955. And so I eventually left the law firm, worked full-time with our publishing company. We started doing events like you might have heard of the Daddy-Daughter Dinner Dance or the City Awards and, just a whole lot. But this year in March, I was appointed to Cincinnati City Council, which was a surprise to me, to fill a vacant seat on council. And so I've kind of stepped away from the Cincinnati Herald. I'm still involved on the business side, but, trying to give the new leadership a chance to do what they want to do. And meanwhile, I'm focusing on my new role as a Cincinnati City Council member, working on a lot of stuff, a lot of work.
Yes.
And I have to say, I'm surprised, but I'm really loving it. So
that's amazing.
It's been great.
What are you surprised about, real quick, if you don't mind me asking, Councilwoman?
I don't mind you asking at all. So there's several surprises. I'll start with myself. My husband was in the state Senate, and he was Ohio minority leader. And I said, you all in politics are just crazy. I don't know who would want to be out there in front. It just seemed like, on the front lines, it just seemed really crazy to me and just totally frightening. So I'm surprised I did it, that, that I said yes when they said, do you think you would consider taking this vacant seat? And a lot of things kind of came together to make me say yes, when initially I would have said no. And I know we're going to talk about leadership. And so I want to talk to Honesty and Kanaya and Stephanie. I want to talk to all of you all about stepping out on faith and just going ahead and, jumping out there. But so I am surprised at myself that I said yes. I'm surprised that I actually love it. I've met so many people. It's been, and also it's the opportunity to really make a difference, make some change. And there are lots of ways of doing that, not just in politics, but it's yet another opportunity. And there's a lot of work that has to be done, a lot of reform that we need. And, so I'm just honored to serve. I'm honored to serve, and I'm just loving it. I'm really loving it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. We also have the president and CEO of CYC, Erica Copeland, on the phone. Erica.
Yay.
Hello. Good evening. How's everyone?
Great.
We're doing well. We're doing well.
Good. So this is one of those examples of tech issues, and I don't have a tech assistant in the house, so I did my best to join, and I'm still trying, but I'm happy to be with you guys on the phone tonight. Thank you for having me.
Certainly.
I'm guessing Jeremiah must be busy. Is he out doing something?
He's not. He's at work, Councilwoman. He's at work. But
I know how you feel. I've been help, something's going wrong on my computer. And yeah, exactly.
It is. I apologize, and I'm still trying. So maybe something will happen as we continue our conversation.
Certainly. There's millions of people on Zoom, so I've had issues in the past. So, but Erica, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, that would be great.
Sure.
Also, we want you to do the honors of introducing the outstanding students that we have with us on the line today.
Yes, that sounds great. So, perfect. So first things first, I'm going to get to my Facebook because I can see you on Facebook.
Nice.
I can see you there. So, welcome to our outstanding students, and I would also like to acknowledge Councilwoman Jan-Michele Kearney. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight.
Thank you.
And of course, to our host. I am Erica Copeland. I have the distinct pleasure of serving as the President CEO of Cincinnati Youth Collaborative. And I've been on board there for 2 years. October makes 2 years. And I'm just having an amazing time working with students and families throughout 5 school districts in Cincinnati. That includes Cincinnati Public Schools. That also includes Winton Woods, North College Hill, Norwood City Schools. So I've done my entire career, you guys, in the field of nonprofit. And so I consider myself extremely blessed in that I've always had an opportunity to serve others. And I've done that in many capacities. I started my career working with the Department of Human Services and actually investigating child abuse and neglect. And it's always been my passion to give back to young people. I spent time working with the Urban League of Greater Cincinnati in leadership roles, and also served as executive director of several other nonprofits, one being Mercy Health and in Over the Rhine, and the other being Wesley Community Services in the past.
Nice.
Much like Councilwoman, I am a former elected official. And I had the distinct pleasure in 2012, to run for Cincinnati Public School Board. And I served on the board as a member of the board, and also my colleagues entrusted me to serve as the president of the Cincinnati Public School Board for 2 years. And that work, as Councilwoman said, is immense. It's a ton of work. It's very gratifying work, though. And I implore all of us to get involved in any elected opportunities that we can. I do, though, want to
pitch in and say you were an excellent leader on the school board. I
Thank
always
you so much. Thank you.
Did great work, great leadership. You were so outspoken. And we were just all, and still are, but all so proud of you. So thank you. Thank you for
I
serving.
tremendously appreciate that. And, the decision, you guys, and, I heard you say we're going to talk about leadership and some other things, but, the decision, that we have to make in our careers and how we serve our communities are sometimes challenging decisions. And so I chose to, resign my position as a board member to work with the Cincinnati Youth Collaborative. And while I was able to touch 37,000 kids within CPS, there are tons more kids that I'm able to help put my arms around to help them be successful across those 5 school districts.
Well, thank you.
Speaking of our students, Maurice, you want me to introduce our honorees?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know who's all on the line, but there are 5 CYC Outstanding Student Award recipients this year. They were nominated by, it could have been their mentor, it could have been an advisor, or someone that works with them on staff with CYC. A very competitive process, but I'm happy to announce Honesty Cheatham, who is a Woodward High School graduate.
Bulldog.
Okay, Bulldog. She participated in our JCG program, and she plans to study pre-law.
Wow.
We also have Olivia Jones. Olivia is a graduate of Norwood High School. She participated in our Gear Up program, and she plans to study nursing.
Amazing.
Kanaya McCants is a graduate of Taft High School.
Senators.
Senators. Yep. She participated in our JCG program, and she plans to study psychology and pre-law.
Nice. Wow, amazing.
Nice. 2 more. There's Stephanie McPeters. She's a Norwood High School graduate. Okay. She participated in our Gear Up program, and she plans to study dental hygiene.
Norwood in the building.
And Gloria Stanford is a Taft High School graduate. She participated in our JCG program, and she has already, I do believe, began to study at the University of Cincinnati.
Amazing.
So thank you so much for exemplifying CYC's core values of empowerment, community, accountability, passion, and integrity. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Amazing, ladies. And Councilwoman, you did not get the questions. Is that correct?
I did get the questions.
Okay, good. Okay, perfect. So we're going to,
Can I just say congratulations to these fantastic young women. I am so impressed with all 5 of you, and just, looking forward to seeing all the great accomplishments. You've already done a lot to get where you are now, and just looking forward to seeing how much more you're going to do. So thank you.
That's amazing. And so we have 3 of them on the line. We have Honesty, we have Kanai, and we have Stephanie. So Honesty, did you want to say a couple words? We can't hear you, Honesty.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
She's on mute now.
I asked to unmute. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
I was saying I just wanted to thank my teachers that nominated me.
Nice. Amazing. All right. Kanaya? There we go.
Hi. I just want to thank my teachers, JCG and CYC, for teaching me a lot of new things and just supporting me every way. I really appreciate everything that you guys have done for me.
Oh, amazing.
She's pretty.
Yes. Stephanie.
Hi, my name is not Stephanie. It's Stephanie.
Stephanie. I'm getting it right. Sorry about that.
No problem. And I just want to give a big thanks to Miss Kate. She helped me through everything. She nominated me, and I'm thankful for her.
Amazing. So, JeRod, you want me to let you take it? Sorry, Councilwoman. There we go.
Okay. I just wanted to say I really love the fact that these students are thanking their teachers. Teachers work so hard and really just love on their students and, push them to be their best. My mom was a CPS teacher. Nice. And my mother-in-law is a retired CPS teacher. So I just, I love it when people recognize like all the work their teachers do. So that is fantastic.
That's amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead, JeRod.
I couldn't agree with you more, Councilwoman. I actually think teachers are heroes. So I absolutely agree with that sentiment. So we do have scripted questions, but in the spirit of everything and just what Councilwoman and also Erica have been speaking to. I think we're just going to kind of free flow this conversation. This is a social roundtable, and I really want to maximize this time that we have with these young women, these young leaders, these future leaders of our city and possibly our nation as well. So one of the questions that we have is what guided you into civic leadership? So what I want to do is I want to give that to Councilwoman and then to Erica, but also feel free to kind of expand upon what you all were speaking to about leadership as well, and also throw it to any one of our 5 or 3 honorees who are on the call as well.
Okay. So for me, my parents always said everybody has something to give. I mean, everybody has something to give, and we're all of us have to give back to our community as much as possible. That responsibility is for everybody. It's not for the person next to you, in front of you, behind you. It's for you too. So it's all of us. Has anybody read Stacey Abrams' book, Lead from the Outside? You probably have heard of her. She was in the Georgia House of Representatives, and she ran for governor of Georgia. Mm-hmm. Really should have won. There was like some hanky-panky that went on with that election. So she was really cheated out of the opportunity to be the first Black woman governor in the United States. But, she'll be back. She's going to run for something else. And so, so look for her. But, in reading her book, she talked a lot about how often we're afraid of stepping up to the plate. We're afraid of leadership. And she really, at one point, is actually talking to women. So the fact that our honorees are all women, let me just say this to you, because she said, you know how it is when you're in class and you kind of think you know the answer, you want to raise your hand, but you're like, oh, I might sound stupid. My answer might be wrong. And so we tend not to raise our hands and not to just go ahead and speak. And she was saying, there's that inner voice sometimes that you really have to fight that tells you, who are you to think you're going to do? Who are you to think you're going to be an attorney? Who are you to think you're going to be in psychology? Who are you to think you're going to be a, dental hygienist? You can't really do that. You're not going to be successful. You've got to shut that voice up. You've got to stop that voice, stop that inner voice. Sometimes the voices are from the outside, but the worst ones can come from inside of us. And so you have to silence that voice. And you have to say, it's okay if I fall down because I'm going to get right back up. And you have to have a louder voice that tells yourself you can do it. Like, you can do this. Go for it. You can do it. Go try. And so she says all of us have to have the audacity to step out on faith, believe in yourself, know you can do it. And so that's what leadership is, that you say, I know I can make a difference in some way. It might be in politics, it might be in law, it might be in psychology, it might be in the medical field, it might be through some volunteer work you do in the community. You can make a difference. You are a leader. So don't be afraid to get out there and lead. And so that's what guided me into civic leadership is, stopping being afraid to get out there. So when I was asked to serve on city council, never thought I would do that. And honestly, I had just read Stacey Abrams' book and I said, okay, I'll give it a try. I will work hard and do my best. So I just want to say that to you. Make sure you've got that inner voice that is really, really loud, that always tells you you can do it and to go for it.
Certainly.
We're absolutely happy to have you on the council, by the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Erica, would you care to add anything?
Yeah, I think our councilwoman really summed up some of the same items that I would discuss. Civic leadership is for all of us. It's for all of us. It's all of our responsibility to serve as civic leaders. So what drew me into participating civically was really what I viewed my ancestors, my elders, doing in our community. I'm a native of the West End community, a very tight-knit community, and folks were all about making sure that inequities that our community faced, and challenges and barriers were removed. And we did that for one another. And so for me, I would just like to help our young ladies understand the importance of sharing and giving back and sharing your talent with others. You are an absolute leader for certain. You do have to have that loud voice appropriately. And, just make sure that you are always giving back to others. For me, the opportunity to serve civically is very gratifying in that I know that I'm making a difference in the life of someone else.
Thank you for that, Erica. And I want to, Erica, I want to come back to you. You said that loud voice appropriately, right? Can you kind of explain what that means?
Sure. When I say that, I mean to be knowledgeable, to be caring, to have a plan. And so we can get ahead of ourselves sometimes based on a cause or something that we feel emotion behind, and have a loud voice in that way. But what I mean by a loud voice appropriately is be knowledgeable about the cause that you want to interface with. Be knowledgeable about inequities and deficiencies that certain folks, have to deal with. So then you can plan along with communities and other community leaders to help remove those barriers. So as appropriate, I mean to plan, I mean to be knowledgeable, and not get ahead of yourself when you don't have facts.
Hey, thank you for explaining that. Thank you. So I want to kind of open the floor up a little bit for our honorees. Do any of you, Honesty, Stephanie, and Kanaya, do you have anything that you would like to add to that?
I have to call some folks out.
Yeah, you better speak up or we're going to call your names.
As far as leadership, as far as what, how does it affect my life or how I view it?
Yeah, absolutely. So leadership, the voice, as both Erica and Jen alluded to, anything that you heard that kind of piqued your interest?
Well, I thought the speaking appropriately in a voice was very interesting because when you get into discussions about leadership, it could be a very vague thing to talk about because everyone got different opinions. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to speak up about their opinions because people typically think, if it's not my opinion, then it's wrong. So I feel like it's very good that you try to teach young women to speak up about it and be okay with having a different opinion with everybody else.
Thank you. Absolutely.
That is a good point. You know what? Can I just say
that? Please.
Yeah, that is such an important point and so hard for people to hear another point of view. I mean, we tend to, we all think we're right all the time. And who knows, but it's always good to open up and hear what other people have to say. And it's the best way really of making change when you include even people that you might not totally agree with, but you can still work together. And so, I really love that. And that's a really mature viewpoint that, you have there. So that was great. Who was that? Honesty speaking? That was Honesty.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, Honesty, that was a really, really mature viewpoint. And it just shows your leadership because that is so important.
Thank you.
Okay. Kanaya? Let me see. Hold on 1 second for me.
I know the unmuting part.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Okay. I think that it's very important for, people to have their voices, especially Black women and Black people in general, because sometimes, we get overlooked and sometimes people don't like to listen to us because they think that, we have these stereotypes that we're loud and all of that, but it's just us speaking up for what we believe in ourselves. And I never really had that voice until I got into Josh Cincinnati Graduates and all of the other good programs. So I agree with Honesty and Miss Jan.
Kanaya, I want to ask you a follow-up question. What about JCG, Jobs for Cincinnati Graduates, gave you or inspired you to begin speaking up?
Good question.
So you're saying what inspired me to speak up, right?
Yeah, you said you didn't have that voice or you didn't speak up as much until you were actually in JCG. How did JCG influence you?
They influenced me by just preparing me and to always like believe in myself. Miss Black and Mr. Hatcher, my JCG teachers, they always believed in me and they pushed me to all limits and got me out of my comfort zone a couple times. So it's like they really trained me to be this way, and I'm glad that they did.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
I love that they got you out of your comfort zone. You know, they made you stretch and do some things you didn't think you could do, and then you found out you could do them.
And Mrs. Black is on the line, so thank you, Mrs. Black. You're
I had to stop you guys and give a shout out to the JCG program administrators who have worked directly with our students on the line today, and I do see some of them here. So thank you, CYC team, for the amazing work that we're doing. But you know, part of the JCG curriculum is intended to help young people understand how to use their voice. Yeah. There are several community projects that take place and competitions and activities. One of them is the public speaking competition. There's Christina Black. Hey, Christina Black. You know, so that part of the curriculum is intended to do that. So I'm very proud. I'm very proud to hear you say that you did learn that work from some of that work from JCG. You know, as you mentioned about being a Black woman and sometimes being overlooked in that, you know, make no mistake about it. You're going to work hard. You're going to work hard. You know, you're talking to the two of us today, hard work every single day. And despite being overlooked or despite those stereotypes, you have to just have that energy for yourself and continue to move forward with the skills that you've learned.
That is, you know, I love the fact that public speaking is a part of that training. I think that's so important, you know, because people have, you know, everybody's got a lot to say, and to learn how to get out there and express yourself, it's kind of a skill, and it's great to have that kind of training and practice. And, you know, I also want to say, don't be afraid to be loud. It's all right to be loud. That's fine. Have a loud voice. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect. All
right, thank you. And I'm going to give Stephanie, did you have a chance? I want to make sure that we're giving you the opportunity to chime in as well if necessary. Did you have anything that you would like to add?
No, not really. I'm just listening and taking everything in. I think everything that you're saying is really important. I am at work, but I promise I'm paying attention.
No.
Stephanie, I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How has being in the CYC program help you to grow?
Being in the CYC program has helped me to grow a lot from the certain skills that we learned as far as applied for college and as far as community service and things like that. Our Gear Up leaders were very helpful to seniors as well as freshmen too.
Amazing.
We had many different programs for seniors and freshmen mainly, and juniors for the ACT. It was really helpful.
That's amazing.
So for those of us who don't know, the Gear Up program is intended to help our students prepare for college and career success. And that looks very different for each student. And so again, I have to give a shout out to our Gear Up team in Norwood, who do an amazing job in working with our young people, helping them get prepared for life after high school.
Amazing.
That's fantastic. That is so great.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So I want to follow up. So with everything that's going on in the world today, I guess we'll go back to you, Jan-Michele. How has the current events that have been going on in regards to social equity, social injustices, how have they impacted your view, or how have they impacted you personally? And then we'll follow up with our honorees and Erica as well.
Well, you know, I have to say that the protests that have started and are still going on, I think caught everybody's attention. I mean, you know, they're national. And even though, you know, some of the recent incidents didn't happen in Cincinnati, people in Cincinnati are standing in unity with people across the country about police reform. And really, when you look at the protest movement, it's really inspiring to see so many young people out there and, you know, multicultural people of all different races and backgrounds, saying, we're joining together. We come from different places, but, we're coming together to work together to make positive change. And I think that is just fantastic, that energy. And again, leadership. And it's really encouraging to see. I think for those of us in elected office, like, our job is to listen and then help take action. So, it's really important that everybody in Cincinnati knows, we're working for the entire city of Cincinnati. And so there's change that has to be made, and it's up to us to work really hard to make sure that happens. So there was a question here. I don't know if that was part of this one, but it said, how does this movement become more than just, a buzzword?
Mm-hmm.
How does it get sustained? Mm-hmm. And I think the real issue is people are always working for social change. It's not always in the forefront of the media. There might not always be thousands of people, out there demanding it, but there are always people working for change. Sometimes organizations, NAACP, for example, National Action Network, sometimes they're churches, sometimes individual groups. There are always people out there working for change and really trying to make change happen. And then some people say, well, if we're doing all this work, why aren't things perfect now? And they're not perfect, but it's like running a marathon. You can look back let's start with this. You can look forward and see how far you have to go. Wow, there's, we've got so many miles to go. There's so much we have to do. Maybe I should just give up. But then you want to look back and say, well, that's where I started. We started way back there. We've made progress. And so that gives us the strength and the courage to keep working together to move forward. So it's not just a buzzword. Change continues. Sometimes it's out in the open, sometimes it's not. But that work is ongoing.
Certainly.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Erica, would you like to add anything about how the current events have impacted you or influenced you in any way?
Certainly so. And I think what Councilwoman Kearney just mentioned was, something that resonates with me. When injustices are noticed and focused on, like what we've seen here in recent days, it's like a boiling point. Folks are at a boiling point. We've been talking about the same story, the same happenings since my entire life for so long. And so for me, seeing the movement is exciting.
Yeah.
I love seeing folks come together for social change, for a particular cause. I think that we all should be involved in some way. And so for me, it's gratifying. And it's such a diverse community that you see talking about these challenges and issues and literally taken to the streets in some places, to have peaceful protest and to voice opinions. We also see a wave of younger individuals running for office where change is made, where policies are created. Mm-hmm. I'm so blessed that I have a recent college graduate who is so involved in the community that I see him and his friends, wanting to spark change, and they're so hungry for it. So it's gratifying to me. And, where we as community leaders are responsible is to help guide our young folks. It's to have that loud voice appropriately, and to put the energy where it needs to be. So I'm excited to see the movement, and I'm happy to be a part of the movement.
Absolutely. And what I'm excited about that both Councilwoman and Erica mentioned is that there is a lot of young people. There is a diverse crowd who is pushing forward this change. And with that being said, Honesty, Kanaya, Stephanie, what would you all like to add to that? What has these current events, these current uprisings, what has that spoken to in regards to you all?
Well, I feel like in order for a movement to become a true movement, you gotta have passion behind it. And the Black Lives Movement definitely has some passion behind it. At first, it did start off as just a hashtag, which was very disappointing considering all the facts that happened.
Yeah.
But I feel like with the whole coronavirus and everyone staying at home, I feel like people really don't have an excuse on not seeing what's actually happened. Because the media doesn't really show a lot of what actually happens. And when they do, it's typically like months or a year later, and it will be no longer relevant.
Right.
And I feel like because it's on quarantine and everyone's just sitting there, everyone's doing their own research instead of waiting for Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat to like just put it out there. They're finally looking for it for themselves. And that really like opens a lot of people's minds up. We could finally have a discussion because people are finally seeing for themselves something they refused to see or couldn't see before.
I love how you said everyone's beginning to do their own research, which I think is critical to what Erica mentioned earlier about speaking appropriately and having some knowledge behind what you're saying. So thank you for that honesty. Kanaya, did you have anything to add? I think she's on mute, Mo.
Yep, I got her. Yep. There she go.
I feel like this movement has been powerful and it has gained a lot of more members over the years. The Black Lives Matter movement didn't really have like this many supporters since they first started, and it's amazing to see how many people would come out and actually support even during this pandemic. It just proves like a lot of people just been fed up and we ready for a change, and I'm ready to see change. I hope I can see it in my lifetime because I know a lot of people haven't been able to see it. But I just hope we be the generation that be able to change this.
Yeah, and
I think
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's what I want you I want you all to see that things have changed. There's a lot more work to be done, a lot more change to be made, but the people before us have made a difference. There was a time, we couldn't even go vote.
Right.
We were sitting in the back of the bus. We were drinking from, quote unquote colored water fountains.
Right.
And that happened right here in Cincinnati too. So, so things are different, but and they're better, but there's so much more to do. There's still systemic racism, and
exactly.
There's still fights and changes that we have. There's a lot to be done, but I never want people to feel like nothing's happened, like we're just where we've always been. We're not. The people generations before us, we're standing on their shoulders and we're continuing their work.
Exactly. And to highlight that, Marion Spencer, she helped to desegregate Sunlight Pool. So, there was a time where Black people couldn't go swimming at Sunlight Pool.
Right.
And Marion Spencer made it her work to make the change to that. And remember, Coney Island is in Ohio, not Kentucky. This is in Ohio.
Right.
And
that's right.
Black people couldn't go to the pools, And then with city pools, there were certain days you could only go to the pools. And usually that was the last day before they emptied the pool out and refilled it. Right. So there's a lot of changes that has happened.
Okay, wait a minute, Maurice. Walnut Hill High School. There were certain days that Black folks could go swimming, and like you said, they emptied out the pool and let the white students come, next day. So, right here in Cincinnati.
Right here in Cincinnati, exactly. So there has been many, many changes, and we just got to keep the ball moving.
That's right.
Yep. Back to JeRod.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to make sure that I give space to Stephanie as well. Stephanie, did you have anything that you would like to add?
I really appreciate the fact that Stephanie is talking from work. That's
Yes,
that's true dedication.
Absolutely.
Yes. I don't have anything to add. I'm just actively listening as I work. That's all.
And Stephanie, as we take into consideration that you are talking from work, please feel free to just put it in the chat if you wanted to speak. That way we won't interfere with anything that you do have going on, because we do want to be respectful of what you have going on, all right?
Okay, that's fine.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Councilwoman, you said something very interesting to me, that you spoke to how we've came so far, right? There was segregation. People couldn't drink from water fountains. Mo mentioned how Marion Spencer had to contribute to the movement and getting pools segregated, or not segregated, but desegregated, right? Yes. So what I want to speak to is, what that says to me is that now I hear honesty, I hear Kanaya, I hear Stephanie speaking to how they feel like there's still so much change. And I think when you mention systematic racism, I think now we're starting to get to the roots of it all, which is super important in order for us to continue to make change and to really uproot how America is essentially rooted in racism, right?
Yes. Right. So, foundation.
Absolutely, the foundation. So when we mention organizations such as the NAACP, and we mention how we've stood on the shoulders of our elders, we would be remiss if we didn't mention Judge Nathaniel Jones as well, who passed earlier this year, right? I was just wondering if you could share any stories, any memories, anything that you have in regards to relationship with him. Erica as well, I believe he served on the board of CYC. So if either of you could share some experience with him.
And before you do that, I'm sorry. Today is September 11th. Mm-hmm. So if we could just give a moment of silence to the people that lost their lives and loved ones during that time, as well as give a moment to the Honorable Nathaniel Jones as well. We just give one moment.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Start back, JeRod. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. The floor is yours, Jan-Michele.
Yeah, thank you, Maurice. Thank you for doing that, because we don't ever want to forget. All the
never forget.
People we lost. Yeah. Judge Jones. So I met him when I was in law school. I as I said, I went away to law school, but came back for some break, and for some reason I went down to his council chambers. Chambers. He was in the Sixth Circuit court. And so, we were just talking about, his career. I mean, here he was, he worked on the NAACP legal defense team, did a lot of work with Brown versus Board of Education. Yes. He also worked on the Kearney Commission, which, was like the start, really, maybe not the beginning, but I think one of the most famous documents to show us about systemic racism.
Exactly.
He just did so much work. I know at one point there was a story I heard about him that, he and Thurgood Marshall were traveling around the South, and they were working for, it was either school desegregation or voters' rights, and I can't remember which one, but they would flip a coin to see who would sleep by the window, because, that person might get shot during the night. And wow. I thought, this man he was just a giant. And so, but, when you met him, he was just like the warmest, kindest person, always ready to talk to students. And, it was hard to imagine that we had the civil rights icon in our right in our midst, and he I was always like, just, so proud of him and just honored to know him. And he was like a walking history book. I mean, he knew everybody. He had been a part of everything. And, such a fighter for civil rights, and, to the end, just really dedicated. As we said, he never lost that energy. He never sat down and said, I've done enough. I mean, he was always out there, really cared about young people. And, I'm not surprised he served on the CYC board. Young people were his passion. He wanted to see everybody reach their dreams and be the best they could be and not have barriers. And he was really an inspiration, He was just a fantastic person.
Amazing.
Thank you for sharing that. Erica, do you have anything you would like to add?
I do. I always enjoy talking about CYC's hero, Judge Nathaniel Jones. We call him one of our heroes. I know that he really thought that the best solutions for socioeconomic problems occur when concerned citizens, educators, employers, civic work groups get together collectively and positively. That's how we affect change in the lives of our young people and to people who are at risk in general. And I have had the distinct pleasure of interacting with Judge Jones on many occasions, with community projects and community work. But I think one of my fondest memories, and something I'll never forget, is when I came on board as CEO to CYC. One of the first meetings that I wanted to have with our stakeholders was with Judge Jones. Mm-hmm. And he welcomed me into his office, of course, and we just sat and we talked, and he was just so genuine about what he wanted me to do in my role to carry out the legacy of the organization. He has a book that's written called Answering the Call. He actually dedicated part of that book, and there's some writing in there that gives direct detail to CYC. And we cherish that writing from him. As a matter of fact, we're so proud as an organization this year. We have an annual gala fundraiser, but of course in COVID we're not able to gather as we would love to. But we're actually going to honor Judge Jones in the month of February. The date is February 11th, and it's our annual Dreammaker celebration. And this year it's Dreammaker celebration, Answering the Call. And we are going to pay tribute. In fact, our 5 outstanding students involved here are going to be cash scholarship recipients. And we are working to establish a scholarship in his name for the work that he's done with CYC. So I'm just amazed and proud that I even have had the opportunity to sit at his feet and learn from him. And to literally, how amazing to carry on the legacy of something so amazing from him and others like Mr. John Pepper and other leaders that founded our organization. So you're looking at 5 outstanding students that are beneficiaries of support from an organization that Judge Jones established. So how amazing is that?
That's fantastic. What a great story. Yes.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. So any of our honorees that's on the line, did you all have anything you want to add? Honestly, or can I?
You can go on, Steve.
Although I didn't know much about him, I do appreciate all the work that he's done. He sounds like he's done a lot to help youth. And I just really want to appreciate that, because a lot of youth don't know that a lot of people are really out there working for them. And for them to even have a scholarship named after him is just another one of those many great things that he deserves.
Certainly. Thank you. Kearney, do you have anything?
Kearney is muted.
Yep, I got it.
I would just like to say that I am so grateful to have people like that, especially who supports us and everything that Black people and other people as well do. And it seemed like he is a great man.
Certainly.
And I would love to meet him one day.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Kearney, he passed
in January. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you can meet him in Answering the Call. That's why it's so important for us to know our history and how wonderful. Yeah. Actually, you have a book that he wrote. There are lots of books about him, but this is one that he actually wrote. And so that would be wonderful. Hopefully everyone will get a copy.
Yeah.
What was the book called again?
I'll make a note.
Answering the Call.
Yeah.
The call. Yeah.
How about Kearney? I'll follow up, and we'll try to make sure that all of you get a copy. We'll figure out how to make that happen for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Great.
I would say his daughter Stephanie Jones. I don't know if she's whether she's been invited to speak, but she's a powerful attorney, and she's been really politically active ever since back in the Clinton administration. And she used to work for a law firm here in Cincinnati, but she's a really powerful attorney in Washington and does a lot of political work. Amazing. So that would be great to meet. She's someone you can meet. and she's really inspirational herself. So she's
yeah. And you know what? Our 5 outstanding students will have the opportunity to meet Stephanie Jones at our event.
Oh,
Stephanie's our honorary chair for the Dreammakers Answering the Call celebration this year. Isn't that great?
That is
Jan-Michele, isn't that wonderful?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
February 11th.
So they'll have an opportunity to interface. Yes, we're so excited about the opportunity.
Absolutely.
She's a powerhouse. Like Erica, you know?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Well, in the interest of time, I want to thank everyone for joining. I want to take a moment and give everyone a moment to say any last words that they would have to say in regards to social injustice, anything in particular. The floor is yours. We'll start with Councilwoman Erica, and then we'll move on to our honorees.
Okay, well,
I'm not a councilwoman, so.
Oh, I meant Councilwoman and then Erica. I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay. I was just gonna roll with that. So,
I wasn't. I should have put my comment in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. I got it.
We got you, JeRod. First of all, I just want to thank you for inviting me. Erica, I mean, you do such a great job with CYC, as you did with the school board. And I'm just so proud of you and all the work you're doing. Maurice, JeRod, thank you so much for your part in this program. And, you've really made it fun. I've got to say to Honesty, Kanaya, and Stephanie, and I love the way that Stephanie made sure we got her name right.
Get it right.
Get your name right. Their names are important. So thank you for doing that. And also in their absence, Olivia and Gloria, you guys, you're our leaders, not in the future, but right now. And so the world is watching you to see what you're doing, what you're accomplishing. You're already great, and you're going to keep being great and do just fantastic things to really make a difference. I would just say, and you already know this, make sure you bring as many people, reach in and bring as many people with you. We all have to work together. And so here I am in City Council. You call me anytime. If you need something, let me know. We are here to serve you and to work with you and to support you. So I just want to congratulate you on this fantastic honor you're receiving today. And, hats off to your families and your teachers and your church members and, your entire support network, because everybody, they've done a fantastic job of getting you this far. And I know you've got so much farther to go. So you just keep moving, make sure that voice inside of you always tells you you can do it. And if there's a negative voice, you tune that out and keep with the voice that says, I can do this, because you can, and you have, and you will continue to.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Erica?
I feel just incredibly inspired. Thank you guys for putting this together, and it's always a great time on the discussion. So thank you for inviting us here, and I'm so pleased and honored to share in a conversation with our councilwoman, who I consider a friend, and she and her husband have always been supportive of me and my family, and I just I want you young ladies on the line to recognize that you just spent time with a woman who's really making a difference for us in our city. So I'm so grateful for that. The other thing that I'm grateful for is just the opportunity to support you, Honesty, Olivia, Kanaya, Stephanie, and Gloria. It is such a privilege for me to know you and to, be responsible for the organization that has helped support you. So I love hearing you say, the things that you've said about the program. And I would be remiss if I didn't give another shout out to our CYC team, who also believes it's a pleasure to serve you. I can't wait until you come back from your travels and your schooling and let us know how well you're doing and how you did step out and what your accomplishments are, because we know that you're going to go very, very far. So congratulations. I can't wait to celebrate with you at our Dreammaker celebration on February 11th, 2021. And I look forward to it. And it's just like any other time. You can always reach back to CYC, you can always reach back to your advisor or your specialist, whomever you worked with, and we'll be happy to help you in any way that we're able.
Certainly. And to add,
I see that smile on Kanaya on the screen.
and to add as well, we have a large CYC alumni base, and would love if you all came back and help us contribute to that as well. So thank you.
Yeah, and two, you guys should know that Mr. Maurice Stewart is actually a board member for that collaborative. He's on our board, and so thank you again.
And both JeRod and I are also on the Young Professionals Board as well. So
that's right, JeRod. I'm sorry, JeRod. That's right, on the Young Professionals Board as well. Thank you.
Exactly.
Fantastic. You all do a great job. Great job.
Honorees, do y'all have anything you want to add?
I just want to thank you again for the opportunities that I've been given, especially from my mentor. And I want to thank the council member for even being present. It's very much an honor. Thank you.
I've enjoyed meeting you all. I mean,
very nice.
We'll stay in touch because I'll be watching you.
Yeah. Janaya, anything?
Yes. Everybody know me know I'm emotional, so I'm trying not to get emotional. But thank you so much. Appreciate everything that you guys have done for me, and my friend Gloria as well. You guys have really inspired me. I'm a part of the NAACP too.
All right, yeah.
And I've been working on joining more clubs, getting more involved as well. Cannot wait. Good. But CYC and JCG will be in my heart.
That is
Thank
great.
you.
And I know Stephanie's working.
I'm about to get emotional.
Yeah.
I know. Me too.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I know Stephanie's working, so I don't know. I did ask her to unmute, but if she wants to say anything, feel free. If not, we completely understand.
Right.
But Councilwoman, I do want to thank you for joining us. I think it's pretty huge to see an actual Councilwoman joining us, taking her time out of her Friday night, right, to join us to have this discussion is
fun.
Super amazing.
I'm headed out to New Prospect Baptist Church. They're doing drive-in movie tonight, and the Cincinnati Herald is a sponsor.
Amazing.
So we have to go and pass out pizza.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, thank you for making time for us. We greatly appreciate that.
I've had so much fun with you all, and I'm so proud of our young people. You guys do a great job. Thank you for everything, and please
thank you for your support, Councilwoman. Yes. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Certainly.
Thumbs up to CYC. You guys are definitely winners.
Thank you. JeRod, any final words, JeRod?
You all said it all. Thank you all a lot. Thank you everyone a lot. And I'm really looking forward to what our young leaders have going on and what they'll be doing in the future for sure.
Certainly.
I love your shirt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining the discussion. This will be, I will have a YouTube link with this discussion, so you'll be able to share it. Councilwoman Erica and the honorees as well. So thank you all. You all have a great evening and look forward to the future discussion.
Thank you.
Have a great day.